Judge, this is the case of Mr. Wilson.
Okay, thank you. You all may be seated. Mr. Wilson, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here today to request that the court reduce my child support that I currently pay my ex-wife. Currently, I pay $800 a month, but up until last year, I worked for the city, and now I'm currently self-employed, and I make considerably less money. So I was requesting that my child support be lowered to reflect that.
Before we go any further, where is Mrs. White?
I don't know.
You sent her notice that she was supposed to be here today, right?
Yes, she was served.
Okay. So I guess she didn't understand how serious this was today. All right. So you said that you used to work for the city.
Yes.
And now you're self-employed.
Yes, I am.
And what do you do self-employed?
All right, folks, let's dive into this courtroom drama. The video kicks off with Judge Thunderbeat calling the session to order, and the case of Mr. Wilson versus his ex-wife, Mrs. White, is introduced. Mr. Wilson is seeking a reduction in his child support payments, claiming his income has drastically decreased since leaving his city job to start his own tow truck business. But here's the twist: Mrs. White is nowhere to be found. She was served notice but failed to show up. The tension is already building. Will the judge grant Mr. Wilson's request, or will Mrs. White's absence complicate things? Let's find out.
What daycare expenses? I also see a 1099 here that you have from workers. You have what, 2 employees?
Yes.
Then I'm also seeing a tax return here. Based on this tax return, I have your earnings. It has gone down. It has gone down. I have you at about $3,700 now.
Yes, that's about right. I make about $47,000 a year.
All right. So you say you pay $200 a month in health insurance?
For him, yes.
And this is for him only, full
Yes.
coverage for only him, not you and him.
Yeah, it's about, with both of us, it's about $450.
Okay. Just want to make sure, because you don't get any credit for yourself. It's only credit for health insurance for your son. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson presents his case, explaining how his financial situation has changed. He used to earn a steady income working for the city, but now makes much less as a self-employed tow truck operator. He's asking the court to reduce his child support payments from $800 to a more manageable amount. He's brought receipts, tax returns, and a 1099 form to prove his income has dropped. But here's the twist: Mrs. White isn't there to challenge his claims. Is this a clear win for Mr. Wilson, or will the judge dig deeper into his financials? The courtroom is quiet and the stakes are high.
Based on that, I have your net, and giving you credit for the $200 that you pay in health insurance for your son comes out to about $2,834.23, which would bring your new child support amount to $566.85.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson, I do appreciate you being here today and being timely. Thank you. I didn't want you to think that just because Mrs. White decided not to show up today for court, that the court could not move forward. Because in Texas courts, once you are served your own notice with a hearing, you have to appear. And if you do not appear, the other side who's bringing the case does still have the opportunity to ask the court for some sort of relief. So you're here today asking for your child support to be reduced. You submitted evidence to support your stance.
Judge Thunderbeat isn't taking this lightly. She carefully reviews Mr. Wilson's documents, including tax returns and health insurance payments for his son. She notes that his income has indeed dropped to around $37,000 a year. After factoring in his expenses, she calculates a new child support amount of $566.85 per month. The judge's attention to detail is impressive. She even clarifies that Mr. Wilson only gets credit for the health insurance he pays for his son, not his own. This is a masterclass in how courts handle child support modifications, and it's clear the judge is focused on fairness and accuracy.
The opportunity to be here and contest whatever it was that you submitted in court, your 1099s, your tax return, even some of the receipts that you provided. But it was a missed opportunity for her because she decided not to come to court. So in the future, whenever you need to come back to court, maybe to change your order, life change or something like that, just make sure that you always send notice to that other person, because you are able to still receive some sort of relief although they fail to show up. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything further?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. You are dismissed.
The judge delivers her ruling, reducing Mr. Wilson's child support payments to $566.85. But she doesn't stop there. She takes the opportunity to explain an important legal principle. If you've been served notice for a court hearing and don't show up, the court can still move forward without you. Mrs. White's absence didn't stop the judge from making a decision, and Mr. Wilson's evidence was enough to secure a reduction. The judge also reminds Mr. Wilson to always send proper notice in the future, even if the other party doesn't show up. It's a valuable lesson for anyone navigating the legal system.
This is Vonda Bailey, and I'm coming to you as the lawyer this time. We have arrived at the educational portion of our show. I just wanted to go over what this segment would cover and how the different scenarios interact with child support under Texas law. I was served to be at a hearing for child support court, but I failed to show up. What happens in that case? Well, let me explain to you what happens in support court with Judge Vonda B. You will receive what's called a default judgment. That's right. As well as in many courts in Texas, if you do not appear after you've been served with a notice of a hearing, you will be defaulted by the court. What does default mean? Default means that whatever the relief that the person who brought the lawsuit was requesting, the court has the discretion to give them that very relief. Now, you do still have to put on your testimony. You still have to provide evidence to the court. The court just won't take your word for it and say, okay, you need a reduction in child support, I'm just going to reduce it. That's not the case. You still are required to put on your evidence. So just keep in mind that although you do not show up for court, the court can still move forward on a case.
The video shifts to an educational segment with attorney Vonda Bailey, who breaks down the legal implications of missing a court hearing. She explains that in Texas, failing to appear after being served can result in a default judgment, meaning the court can rule in favor of the party who showed up. However, she emphasizes that the present party still needs to provide evidence to support their case. It's not an automatic win. This segment ties everything together, offering practical advice for viewers who might find themselves in a similar situation. The video ends with a call to action, encouraging viewers to subscribe and share their stories. It's a powerful reminder that the courtroom is not just about legal battles, but also about fairness, responsibility, and the well-being of families. Mr. Wilson presents his case, explaining how his financial situation has changed. He used to earn a steady income working for the city, but now makes much less as a self-employed tow truck operator. He's asking the court to reduce his child support payments from $800 to a more manageable amount. He's brought receipts, tax returns, and a 1099 form to prove his income has dropped. But here's the twist: Mrs. White isn't there to challenge his claims. Is this a clear win for Mr. Wilson, or will the judge dig deeper into his financials? The courtroom is quiet and the stakes are high. All right, folks, let's dive into this courtroom drama. The video kicks off with Judge Thunderbeat calling the session to order, and the case of Mr. Wilson versus his ex-wife, Mrs. White, is introduced. Mr. Wilson is seeking a reduction in his child support payments, claiming his income has drastically decreased since leaving his city job to start his own tow truck business. But here's the twist: Mrs. White is nowhere to be found. She was served notice but failed to show up. The tension is already building. Will the judge grant Mr. Wilson's request, or will Mrs. White's absence complicate things? Let's find out.